Hey guys, so over the last few years we've been seeing a lot of military surplus firearms that have been hitting the US market, and particular ones that are hitting the US markets are the Yugoslav weapons. And the one main one that has been hitting the market by storm is this guy right here. This is the M70 semi-automatic pistol by Czech Zastava, chambered in 32 auto, and today we're going to do its review. Alright guys, so first thing right off the bat is that you guys are probably thinking, you know, he said the M70. Is he talking about the M70 this, M70 that, M70 that? Yes, you guys are right. There's a lot of different M70 designated weapons that are out there. And those are primarily from a lot of the Yugoslav or the Eastern Bloc weapons manufacturers. So there's three particular ones that I'm going to go over that are of the M70 designation that are currently hot in the US firearms market right now. So we've got this guy right here, which is the M70 semi-automatic pistol chambered in 32 auto. And then on top of that, you got the M70 AK-47 that I'm not sure if it's made by Yugoslavia or Serbia, one of the two, whatever. And then you have the M70 Tokarev variant semi-automatic pistol. Those are just the three, and that's all I'm going to go over because it would be way too convoluted for me to go down the list of all the M70s out there. All right, so first things off, before we really take a look at this gun, we're going to have to go through all the safety procedures and detach the magazine and make sure there's no bullet in the chamber. So let's start with that. Okay. Perfect. Oh, safety. How stupid of me. All right, perfect. There's nothing in there. Okay, so this thing, for a gun that's about the size of my hand, this thing is relatively heavy. I would say that this thing is close to, geez, almost 2 pounds. And thing is, because of that weight, it actually would be really beneficial for the recoil. All right, and the grip that we've got right here, this is a plastic grip, but the grip actually has relatively coarse texturing, so you actually get a pretty decent grip. As you can see, I'm trying to slide my thumb forward, and it's really taking an effort to do that, so which is pretty good. All right, okay, and we got the magazine release button right here. And the magazine release button is not ambidextrous. Most weapons of this era, a lot of the functions weren't designed to be ambidextrous. It's the same thing with the safety right here. It's a non-ambidextrous safety. And let's see if it works. Yep, it works. And all right, let's see. Yep, this is perfect. And another thing with this that this gun has, it actually has a magazine release trigger safety. So if you decide to release the magazine and your safety's off and you pull the trigger, guess what? Nothing's happening. Yep, see? Yeah, nothing's happening for you, which is pretty good. Some people don't like the fact that there's a magazine release safety. I personally don't have a problem with it because to me, I'm in the camp that you can't have too many safeties because you really got to compensate for a lot of stupid out there. Anyways, back to it. Okay, and before I forget, the magazine, I believe, has an 8-round capacity, which is actually pretty decent for a pistol of this size. You got the slide right here and the serrations on the slide for easier grip or slide pull. We got the sights right here. Usually these things come with a diminutive sight, which is like a little metal peg that goes right above right here, and this one in the bottom. But this one, they've actually got a little bit of a custom sight on here that came with it, which is not bad. I mean, I don't know, I think I like the steel sights better. These are just weird because the way it protrudes out like that. Okay, and one of the things that a lot of people complain about is these things would produce a lot of glare when you fire, and it can actually blind you in high light conditions. But the thing is, I don't really see that there's going to be a glare problem with this guy. I mean, I'm not seeing really a lot of reflection, so I think we'll be okay with that. All right, so one of the main selling points of this gun that it is well known for is for its easy disassembly and easy maintenance. So let's go ahead and take this guy apart, and I'm going to show you how simple it is. So first things off, we're going to go ahead and you see this little recoil spring holding pin right there. So we're just going to take a plier and kind of push that in. And then you're going to turn that about 90 degrees and pull this bushing out and release the recoil spring. Kind of pull it out a little bit so that way we can pull this slide release right here. Then it comes out, and then the slide should just come right out. Boom, like that. Okay. And you pull the recoil springs from here. Come on. Perfect. And the barrel out the front. And then, nice thing about the M70 is that the hammer comes out as one. Come on. Oh, that's why. Stupid me. Gotta release the magazine. Comes out as a single assembly, and it's easily assembled and easily cleaned as a single assembly. Now you can probably tell that whoever cleaned this gun, they obviously over oiled the hell out of it. So yeah, so this thing is fairly well lubricated, and as you can tell, that's basically, it's like a 5-step process to take this thing apart. That's how simple it is, and to put it back is even more simple. So the M70 pistol right here itself is relatively a really good gun, and we actually enjoyed the hell out of it when we took it out to fire. The main thing, like I said before, is that the gun, for its size, weighs a lot. I mean, it's about 2 pounds, and if you can see, it's just slightly smaller than my hands, which my hands is about 9 inches from top to bottom. And the heavy weight actually helps with the recoil, as we observe, because the extra weight actually keeps the gun down at all times. So we were actually able to keep a lot of our shots on target, and our groupings at the end of the day was about 6 inches, which is really good, really good. We'll give it that. And the range that we tested out at was at, I believe, 10 yards and 15 yards. So really, really an effective pistol. The ergonomics of the pistol is pretty good. If you can see, the way they designed the grip at an angle is just perfect. So when you grip, there's that perfect angle. You're not trying to straighten your wrist or anything like that just to get into a decent firing spot, but this is pretty good as it is. And the only thing I have to say about the ergonomics, I said it's decent. I never said it was excellent. I said it's decent, and this is exactly why. I believe that the designers over at Czech Zastava, I don't think they made the consideration when they designed this gun for people with large hands. So for me, top to bottom, about 9 inches across, it's about 5 to 6. Not very meant for this gun, and I'll show you for several reasons. So you'll see it. You'll see the fact evident. So here it is. So imagine I'm firing this pistol. So when I pull the trigger, the gases from the bullet slides, the entire slides back, and it cocks the hammer. So look at the hammer and notice what's happening. So every single time I'm firing, the hammer is coming down and pinching my skin on my hand right here where my thumb meets my index finger. So every single time, every shot, it was just pinching, and by the end of the day, I was bleeding because I was getting pinched about 40, 50 times. And it just wasn't unpleasant. I really loved the pistol. The pistol was fun to fire and everything. It was great, but there was just that little ergonomics problem that for me, for the consideration of final score in the review, it's gonna knock some points down. And another issue that I have with this pistol is the cartridge that it used. And I know what a lot of you are going to say, that, you know, the 32 auto, you know, for self-defense is just as good as any bullet out there. And, you know, guess what? You're probably right. You know, that's your preference, and, you know, great. I'm okay with it. That's fine. But for me, the 32 auto just to me feels like a little really small round, and for me to kind of really explain it to you guys is to actually show you the different sizes of the different bullets. So right here we have, first off is the 32 auto, which is right here, and next size up we've got the 380 auto. The 380 basically is a smaller size 9mm. They're identically basically the same because they still use the same 355 bullet casing on the top. And right here we've got the 9mm, and which is pretty common with a lot of the handguns out there. All of them, from Glocks to Springfield to Smith & Wesson, a lot of them are chambered at 9mm. It's actually one of the most popular cartridges in the world. And then we have the 45 ACP right here. Now, the 45 ACP is a big round, but it's also a slow-moving round. And I've had a firearms instructor actually tell me that the difference between the 9mm and the 45 is like getting hit by a baseball bat, and this guy's like getting hit by a bus. So there you go. I mean, you know, if you get shot with a 45 at, you know, 30, 40 yards, you might not get killed, but you probably wish you were killed because of the pain. And right here we've got the 5.7, and this is definitely a high velocity armor piercing round. This is exactly what it actually was designed for, and it's exclusively used for the FN 5.7s and the Ruger 57s, and also a lot of the there's a lot of the personal defense weapons out there uses the 5.7 cartridge. The main problem with the 5.7 cartridge is that it's relatively expensive. And you know, to me, for my recommendation is that the 32 auto is a good round for concealed carry, but if you're going to do everyday carry, I would prefer the 9mm, just because you're getting more value for your buck, because you're getting good velocity and also get good stopping power. So after scouring the internet, I came to find out that the M70 pistol is actually even currently still being used right now by the Serbian police, basically as a backup weapon, just because the 32 auto cartridge is just a little underpowered for what it needs to do, like I mentioned earlier. So they're basically using this as a backup to their primary sidearm, which, you know, as a backup, this thing isn't bad. And for a gun that's priced around $250, $299 at this quality and reliability, this is one heck of a steal. So if you can get your hands on it, I highly recommend to get your hands on it. And you know, if you don't mind 32 autos, this is definitely a gun to go. For me, I would rather see this thing in a 9mm cartridge, and if it's chambered that way, I will definitely pick it up. And I do know that in Serbia, they do make, no, in Czech Republic, Serbia, one of the two, whatever, they do make these things chambered in either 380 or 9mm, but you know, sadly, we're not seeing in the United States, so we're not getting it anytime soon. And you know, overall, with the little points docked away for the ergonomics and my personal beef with 32 autos and little points taken away from that, I would say that this gun, you know, is good for the collector who wants to collect, you know, Warsaw Pack firearms. That's great. This will definitely add to your collection, but as a primary concealed carry firearm, I think there's a lot better things out there. I mean, you have Glocks, you've got the Springfield Armory XDs that is actually a little smaller and a little lighter than these guys, and they perform just as well. But to take away from all that, I would say that the final score that we at Lost Coast Tactical will give this bad boy will be A-. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. We over at Lost Coast Tactical enjoy putting these videos together for you. If you like our content and want to see more of it in the future, be sure to support us by clicking the subscribe button below. And if you have any future episode ideas, we'd love to hear it. Please leave all of your suggestions in the comment section below. Thank you so much, guys, for watching again, and we'll see you on the next one.